How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with new brewery time, I guess. I mean, I had one of these beers previously. That was a couple days ago, but it was a group session. It was during Beer Tuber Palooza. This one I'm doing solo. And this is Keeping Together. This is The Grace of Maybe. Yeah. Never heard of this brewery prior to this beer being sent to me by my boy Chuck/Charles. He sent off a gracious box of beers for Beer Tuber Palooza and for myself. This lasted the weekend, and I'm kind of happy it did. I wanted to do one of these solo. So, this is a Saison with peaches, vanilla, and lemongrass. It is a mixed culture fermented beer and bottled by Keeping Together, Chicago, Illinois. I do not see an ABV on this. Yeah, peaches, vanilla, and lemongrass. Never heard of these guys, and when I say these guys, I mean people. It's all encompassing because this is a female brewer. She contracts out of Half Acre Brewing, and she comes from the Jester King / Side Project world. So you can get the vibes on the beer that she be throwing down. Label-wise, it's very cool. I always like kind of like that illustrative kind of like single line art coming from Tattoo World. I'm familiar with such things, but there's something kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, or artist. Not Picasso. There's something to it. I don't know. I dig it. Let's put it that way. But you're talking about a lot of flavor going on in what I assume is a relatively low ABV beer. You know, Saison with peaches, vanilla, and lemongrass. You know, Saison, peaches, sure. Lemongrass, absolutely. You can get that without having it added. Vanilla. That's the one I'm really, really curious about because, I mean, vanilla can get very much out ahead of you. It's very, very easy to either put too little or put too much in a beer. So we'll see how that kind of works out. I mean, it's a Saison. Look at that thing glow. It's glowing. It almost has like its own spirit. That's how vibrant it is. You know, it doesn't have much of a head on it, but has a meaningful head on it. It has this rich kind of core to the edge of it. You can't really see down into the beer like I can, but it just looks pretty, man. Drinking this blind, if I didn't know what it was and I didn't know what vessel it came out of, I could call this many different things: IPA, pale ale, blah blah blah. Man, does that look the part of a vibrant Saison. Let's get a nose. I mean, that lemongrass is... I don't want to call lemongrass stealing the show here, because I think a lot of the lemon attributes in this mixed culture beer were there before lemongrass is added. Probably a little Brett in here, maybe a little hopping that kind of accentuates that lemon, and once you add that lemongrass, just kind of like... kind of propping all of that up in a very beautiful level. I think the combination of that lemon in combination with like a tannic, skinny kind of peach thing always works well, and that's what you're actually getting in here. But the coolest thing about it is that vanilla. And I was going to say the lack of vanilla, but it's there, but in a very, very subtle kind of way. It's not overly aggressive. It's not the second or even third player. It's probably a fourth player in the way this beer kind of comes off. That lemon coming in first. The graininess. The graininess, the yeast, and the peach is kind of fighting out for, second, third, and fourth here. So that vanilla, definitely, at least on the nose, aromatically, is down the pecking order. But it's there. And that's what really makes this kind of a very cool nose in this beer. Yeah, it smells nice, bright. Citrus, acidic, but not aggressive. I don't think this is going to be... I know this isn't going to be a palate-wrecking, astringent, kind of crazy acidic. But I think it's going to want to pull at my cheeks a little. Just a little bit. Want to make me smile kind of thing. So, let's just dive in. Cheers. I'll drink this every day of my life. Every day of my life, I will drink this. I'm blown away by the levels, and I want to say levels because I was gonna say balance, and it's totally not the word to use here. It is, and there's a balance between all the ingredients that make it work, but there's steps, there's levels, as Kramer would put it, to everything here. The peaches jump up way more than you think they would based off of the nose. They're not aggressive by any stretch of the imagination, but they're bigger than I thought they'd be. And very, very hyper organic and like really kind of almost under ripened kind of peachiness, but in a very, very fun way. That lemon slash lemon Brett, lemon hop, lemon grass combination, well, by far and away number one on the leaderboard and nose is still number one, but it comes way further towards the pack. Still number one, just not that big. The grain makes a nice kind of appearance here too. This nice kind of almost like, I want to call it like a dash of speltiness in here kind of thing. There's something to me in this is beyond just a regular, just ho hummy kind of like grain bill. Not showy. A tasty. There's this beautiful tartness to it. That is probably what puts that lemon grass, lemon Brett C kind of lemoniness from the hops kind of puts that over the top. Is again not even close to being sour, not even close to being like really tart. Still enough tartness to where it wants to pull those strings and make you smile, like I talked about before I took a sip. And then last but not least, actually no, not last but not least, the mouthfeel. I'm going to talk about the mouthfeel. I mean, it's not just from a mouth. I was going to say not just from a mouthfeel standpoint. Well, you're talking about mouthfeel, jerk. How it drinks is how I want to put it. Because I want to lump mouthfeel together with kind of pH balance on this beer. And that the mouthfeel is beautiful. Soft, drinkable. Never going to be confused for anything but satin silky beautifulness. But it has that pH level that I talk about. When you get a beer that pH balance is very, very close to what the human body's pH balance is, and then it drinks kind of super easy, even though it gives you a little of that acidic pop, a little bit of tartness, very gentle, but it's so easy to drink, it's almost criminal. And honestly, it's like the weirdest part is that the vanilla portion of the show here is so small that it's almost not there, but it is there. And it almost acts like the glue that holds the whole thing together. That's the coolest part about the whole beer, is that the vanilla, which is such a like overused but much maligned kind of an ingredient, because it's such a great ingredient when it's used correctly. But I personally, maybe it's me just kind of dumping on it, but I love it so much. But it's kind of like garlic, you know. It just so many people overuse it or use it the wrong way and all that kind of stuff. And this is where I really like it to shine, you know, and just such a depth. That's the word. Hand and using it just to kind of bring this whole beer together. I'm sure it's adding to the mouthfeel. I'm sure it's adding to the kind of sweetness of the beer, all those things, but it doesn't come off like that. It comes off as like almost like a core element inside of a, you know, a core, what's the word I'm looking for? Not core element, a core ingredient inside of an element. You know, the thing that ties it all together. It makes it really nice. I mean, this is really, really good stuff. Like, really, really good stuff. You know, not knowing anything about the brewery, you go into these things kind of I'm not skeptical, but you know, you wonder. I mean, even if you get the feedback, you know, doing our own thing out of Half Acre, which obviously, you know, you got a great facility there, you know, coming from districting, coming from side project, you don't want to assume beers are going to be good. You want to go into them with zero preconceived notion, but it's hard to do that from time to time, especially with that kind of pedigree. But at the same time, when you flip the script on that, you kind of expect a little bit more. You know, expect the beer to be that level of stuff, and it's kind of a tall, you know, road to hoe. You know, kind of a tall order to measure up to. Yeah, so it's almost detrimental to a certain extent. This is delicious. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's kind of the beer that I really really do enjoy drink by myself. Like, I opened a table beer during Beer to Blues, and I really did enjoy that because I wanted people to try this beer because I've never heard of it, and a bunch of them, if they did, they never had it before. But I'm very, very, very happy that this bottle survived the weekend, and I got to drink it by myself because I'm going to sit here, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to watch a little bit of TV, hang out with my boy maybe, a little baseball, I don't know. And I think this is going to be a perfect accompaniment for anything I choose to do. I think that's what makes great beer great. It's great to drink and talk about and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's a good companion when you want to do something solo. And this beer is, God, I'm getting too deep. Anyway, let's talk about the actual beer. Jesus, man, I think I blacked out there for a minute. Yeah, from mouthfeel to that tartness that is not aggressive but meaningful, to that pH balance. All the ingredients, like I said, it's not like classically balanced. It's more balanced across the board, but there's levels to each thing, and all those levels work together. Beautiful beer. Is this one of the better? Let's guess an ABV on it, because I actually have no idea. 6. I want to go 6 on it. No, 5.8. 5.8. Is this one of the better lowerish ABV mixed culture beers that I've had? Is like, yes. Mount Rushmore status. Put it on there. It's just that good, man. It's absolutely delicious and exactly what I want to drink most of the time. When I first tasted it, I was just like, I drink it all day. Knee-jerk reaction. That shit still resonates at the end of the review. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Value and availability on this, no idea. Chucky Charles. Chuckster. Mr. Boswell, if you will. Let me know how much you paid for this, please. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like those beers. The Hill Farmstead, Suarez, Side Project, Jester Kings. Side Project can get a little bit too acidic, a little bit too aggressive for me. You know what I'm talking about. Those pH balance, like, it belongs inside of the kind of beers. If you dig those, you will dig this beer. And their beers. I mean, two beers, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Footprint. But absolutely tasty stuff. Thank you very much for sending this off, Charles. Very cool of you. There you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've had this beer or anything from these guys. When I say guys, I mean anybody, gals or whatever. I just can't help but saying guys. Women are dudes too. That's how I roll. I don't know. I just can't stop doing it. My wife hates me. I call her dude. I call her dude to this day. Let me know if you've had this. People. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying your life. Hopefully you're keeping it together. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.